Hello young little minds, welcome to All Force e-learning program. It's me again, right? So in our today's session, we shall discuss about the electric potential due to a spherical shell. So today's topic is electric potential due to a spherical shell. Hollow sphere, electric potential due to a charged spherical shell. It is understood, of course, a charged spherical shell, right? Hollow sphere, charged hollow sphere, electric potential due to this. So before going to this, let's have a review what we have studied in the earlier classes and what are the various things that are useful to deduce this expression there, okay? So I was telling you, electric potential is the electrical state of a body which determines the direction of flow of charge. If I am at more potential, more electric potential, so I possess more energy, so I am in a state of giving. If any body possesses less potential, it is having less energy, it is now in a status of taking the charge. So it determines the direction of flow of charge, potential. Well, by definition, electric potential was defined as the amount of work done per unit test charge. The amount of work done in moving a unit positive test charge from infinity to the point in the field. Work done per unit charge, joule per coulomb, volt, I was telling you. Later we have deduced the formula for the potential due to a point charge. It's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r. For a point charge of charge q at a distance r, the electric potential is 1 by 4 pi epsilon q by r. If there are number of charges, the resultant potential due to number of charges, if there are many charges in the vicinity, then the total potential, it is the algebraic sum of all the potentials, I1 to In Vi. The algebraic sum of all the individual potential due to all the discrete charges, total potential like this. So potential due to point charge, potential due to many charges, we have even deduced the potential due to a dipole yesterday, right? Now, we will now talk about the electric potential due to a spherical shell, right? Now, let us consider a hollow sphere. This is a hollow sphere, right, which is charged with, uniformly it is charged with an amount of charge capital Q. It is charged with the amount of charge capital Q. Sometimes he can even give you the surface charge density also. Suppose if he gives you surface charge density sigma, let's suppose the surface charge density is sigma. You know, by definition we know surface charge density sigma is Q by A, correct? Cross multiply. So I get charge Q is sigma into A. The area of the sphere, the surface area of the sphere, I can write as sigma into 4 pi r square. Please remember this formula. Let us put it as equation 1. Right? So we have to find out the electric potential due to this charge, the positively charged, uniformly charged hollow sphere, hollow spherical shell, right? Hollow sphere, uniformly charged, the charge is Q. Now I have to find out the electric potential due to this charge, let's say at a point P, which is at a distance smaller from the center of the shell. Let the center of the shell be named as O, right? We have to find out the electric potential due to this spherical shell at this point P at a distance R. Now, by definition, you know, electric potential, it is the amount of work done in moving a unit positive test charge. Let's suppose I am moving a unit positive test charge from infinity. I am moving a test charge, placing it here. The amount of work done in moving a unit positive test charge from infinity to the point in the field is W by charge Q. Q naught will give you electric potential. You know, we have earlier studied according to Shell theorem. I have explained according to Shell theorem. If a hollow sphere is charged uniformly with a charge Q, then we are interacting with respect to a point P outside the charge. Then all the charge on the sphere behaves as if all the charge is existing at the center of the sphere. You know, we have studied according to the Shell theorem. I have explained to you, when a hollow charged sphere, right, a charged sphere uniformly charged over the surface, we are now talking about a point outside the surface. then with respect to that point, the charge behaves as if all the charge is concentrated at the center of the sphere. So the charge behaves, all the charge is at this point Q. It behaves, charge really doesn't exist. It behaves as if all the charge is at the center. Now we have to find out the electric potential. Case 1, first case, the electric potential at the outside point. Outside point of a spherical shell, point outside at a distance r greater than the radius of the sphere. I am taking a point P at a distance small r which is greater than the radius of the sphere. Outside the point I am taking. Now when I consider a point outside, so now by definition the potential is the amount of work done in moving a unit positive test charge. So I am moving a unit positive test charge plus Q naught from infinity to the point in the field. You know, the work done in moving a unit positive test charge from infinity to point Q. If I imagine this spherical shell as if all the charge is concentrated at the center. So this shell behaves like a point charge. The shell can be considered as a point charge. So if I imagine this shell as a point charge, all the charge is concentrated at the center, then it is a point charge at O. Then potential due to point charge. We have already derived the formula for the potential due to point charge V. It is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q by R. Right? So potential due to point charge is 1 by 4 epsilon Q by R. So therefore potential at this point P, considering all the charge to be at the center of the spherical shell. Considering the charge at the center of the spherical shell, then the potential at the outside point, potential at the point P, V is given as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. The charge, now all the charge on the surface can be imagined to be at the center. So it's all the charge Q by the distance of the point, that is small r. So this is the formula for the potential. Now like this, you know, according to the shell theorem, when I consider a charged sphere, I consider a charged sphere like this, then with respect to an outside point, calculating the force or field or potential, whatever it is, this charge behaves as if all the charge, right? Suppose if you are integrating with respect to point P, so this behaves as if all the charge is concentrated here. If the charge is capital Q, then all the charge is concentrated at this point P. So the charged spherical shell behaves as if all the charge on the surface is concentrated at the center. So you can imagine all the charge at the center at the point, all the charge at a point, it is a point charge. So I can consider this as a point charge Q at a distance r. Well, for a point charge we have already proved the formula for the potential. So the potential is 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q by R. So by this, the potential at the outside point is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R it is. Potential due to a spherical shell at the outside point, right? Charged spherical shell at the outside point. Now sometimes suppose if he gives you surface charge density, instead of giving you charge, if he gives you surface charge density, then the same formula can be written as V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now the charge Q in terms of surface charge density, it is sigma into 4 pi r square by the distance of the point. Well, 4 pi gets cancelled. So I can write down the potential at the outside point as sigma r square by epsilon naught small r. Potential due to a hollow charged conducting sphere, right? Sorry, hollow charged sphere. Then potential in terms of surface charge density, sigma r square by epsilon naught r. In terms of charge, it is 1 by 4 epsilon Q by r. So from this formula, right, you can infer that the potential is directly proportional to charge. V proportional to charge and V inversely proportional to R. Well, from this we can infer V directly proportional to surface charge density. It is directly proportional to V proportional to square of the radius of the sphere and V inversely proportional to distance of the point. So for any outside point, potential due to a charged spherical shell at the outside point, you know, we have proved while taking the potential due to a point charge. So let us potential at this point, we have derived the derivation. Potential V is the total work done in moving a unit positive test charge from infinity to the point in the field against the field. So it is the work done in moving a unit positive test charge from infinity to the point. So the potential is minus work done, force into displacement. So it is integral of infinity to r. Work done is force. Force is Coulomb force 1 by 4 epsilon capital Q small q naught by r square dr by q naught. Well, q naught cancel. So therefore potential will get it as minus integral. Let me take this constant also out. So capital Q by 4 pi epsilon naught common, integral 1 by r square dr. Is it? So minus 1 by r square dr infinity to r. Well, integration of 1 by r square, right? You can write this as potential V is minus Q by 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 by r square is r power minus 2 integration. Well, integral of r power minus 2 dr from infinity to r. R power minus 2, we know integration x power n plus 1 by n plus 1, same derivation as we have done it in for this thing. So this I can write as r power minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1 from infinity to r. Well, minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1, minus cancel here. So I will get it as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q, it's r power minus 2 plus 1 minus 1 by r infinity to r. Substituting the upper limit minus the lower limit. So upper limit 1 by r minus 1 by r minus 1 by infinity. 1 by infinity is 0. So you will get it as 1 by 4 epsilon naught q by r. So that way you can find the potential. Same derivation what we have done while doing the while evaluating the potential due to point charge. Same thing, because this behaves as if all the charge is concentrated in the center. So potential due to a spherical shell at any outside point V is same as the potential due to a point charge at that point, at that distance r. So the potential is 1 by 4 epsilon naught q by r. 1 by 4 epsilon naught, you know it is 9 into 10 power 9, right? This is the formula when it is in air. Had it been in a medium, then I have to replace epsilon naught with k epsilon naught, dielectric constant of the medium, right? You all know. So based on that you can calculate. Now, next case, case 2, if I have to find out the potential due to this hollow sphere, hollow charged, uniformly charged sphere on the surface point. Case 2, I have to now find out the potential at the surface point here, where the distance small r is capital R. Here, second case. So, case 2, potential at the surface point. In the sense surface point, R is capital R. Again the same theorem, right? Whenever you consider a sphere is charged uniformly with all the charge of the surface, uniformly charged, then it behaves as if all the charge is concentrated in the center. The charge behaves as if all the charge is at the center. So charge here, now the distance of the point is capital R. Then we know potential at any point for a point charge, 1 by 4 epsilon q by r. Now the charge is plus q at a distance small r is capital R. So potential on the surface point, it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, charge is capital Q by the distance capital R. So this is the potential. So potential at the surface point of a charged hollow charged conducting sphere, charge is uniformly distributed, then it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught charge on the sphere by r. Well, suppose the answer is, the question is asked with respect to surface charge density. If it is asked in terms of surface charge density, then the potential on the surface is, it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. I can write this charge as sigma 4 pi r square by capital R. Well, 4 pi cancel, r cancel. Potential on the surface is sigma capital R by epsilon naught. So the electric potential on the surface point of a hollow charged sphere, it is sigma capital R by epsilon naught. Here again, this potential is directly proportional to sigma, it is proportional to capital R. Mind you, when we were talking about the potential at the outside point, it was proportional to r square. Now it is proportional to capital R. You have to make out the difference. Now these tiny things matter a lot, you know. So therefore, potential at the surface point of a charged sphere, it is directly proportional to surface charge density. It is even proportional to the radius of the sphere. Correct? This is with respect to the surface point. Now, the most important part the most important part of the potential due to a hollow conducting sphere at an inside point. Case 3, third case. Potential at an inside point. Potential at an inside point. Inside the sphere. Now the distance r is less than r, capital R. Then how? Right? So let us understand carefully. Now the point is inside the sphere. The point of consideration, this point is here. It is at a distance small r. Right? Third case, I am considering the point inside the sphere, please. So this is the sphere. The radius of the sphere actually is capital R, but the point here now is inside the sphere, small r. We are asked to find the potential due to the sphere at a point inside the sphere. Well, let us go by definition. Let's understand carefully. We know the potential is defined as the total work done in moving the charge, in moving a unit positive test charge, from infinity to the point in the field against the field. So that is the definition actually. So in the sense, if I have to find out the potential at any point P here, right, it is the work done in moving a charge from infinity, test charge from infinity to the point in that, to the point where we have considered, the point of concentration. So therefore, potential is the total work done in moving from infinity to the point P by Q naught. Well, I shall write this as work done in moving the test charge from infinity to the point P. I shall write it as work done in moving a test charge from infinity to the surface point and from surface to the point P. The total work done from infinity to point P, it is work done to move from infinity to surface plus the work done to move from surface to the point P, because the point is inside, right? So to go inside, I have to pass through the surface. So first work done from infinity to the surface, then from the surface to point P. So therefore it is work done from infinity to the point P plus work done from, infinity to the surface, then from surface to point P by Q naught. But you know, if you consider the work done in moving the charge from surface to point P, suppose I have come from infinity to the surface, the work done is W infinity to surface. Now I am moving from surface to the point P. While moving from surface to point P, there is no charge existing. There are no lines of force whom I have to oppose. There is no force of opposition. Inside the hollow charge conductor, the charge is 0. The flux is 0. The electric field inside is 0. There are no lines of force inside. You know, the electric lines of force start from the surface, extend up to infinity. All the lines of force, they emerge from the surface. They emerge from the surface outside like this. So there are no lines of force inside. So inside the charged sphere, there is no charge, no flux, no field. So electric field is 0. So there is no opposition to the charge. So while moving the test charge from here to here, I find no opposition. There is no opposite force. There is no charge which can apply the repulsive force. Well, when I was moving from infinity to surface, the electric lines of force, this charge on the surface was opposing, repelling the charge. But once I move inside from the surface, so here I find no charge inside, no opposition. So while moving from surface to point P, work done in moving from surface to point P is force into displacement, force into dr, right? But force F, it is EQ into dr. Work done from surface to point P, the electric field E into charge Q into dr. q naught, I am moving q naught into dr, but E inside the sphere is 0. So therefore work done in moving from surface to point P is 0. So work done in moving from surface to point is 0. So this term is 0. So therefore this is equivalent to work done to move from infinity to surface by q naught. It is just equal to work done to move from infinity to surface. But the work done to move from infinity to surface by q naught, it is nothing but the potential on the surface. We have derived just before, just earlier to this. You know, potential on the surface is work done in moving a unit positive test charge from infinity to the surface point by q naught. So therefore, right, so while moving to a point inside the sphere, I have to move from infinity to the point inside the sphere. Total work done in moving from infinity to the point inside the sphere. Now this is equal to minus of the work done in moving the unit positive test charge from infinity to surface capital R, right, plus the work, minus is common here, plus the work done in moving the unit positive test charge from capital R to small r by q naught. So work done in moving from capital R to small r inside. So this is equal to, so it's minus integral bracket integral of dw from infinity to capital R plus work done in moving from capital R to small r from here to here. So this work done, it is integral of f dr from capital R to small r by q naught. But you know the force F inside the sphere, we know in electric field force F is equal to, right, F is E into q naught. So force F is E into q naught. This is E q naught. But you know, for a charged conducting, charged hollow sphere, there is no charge inside, no flux inside, no field inside. So the field inside is 0. So this term becomes 0. So this is equal to simply integral of work done in total work done in moving from here to capital R by q naught. But the work done in moving a charge from infinity to capital R in the surface. So therefore infinity to the surface by q naught. So this work done per q naught is nothing but potential on the surface. So therefore this implies potential at any inside point is equal to work done in moving a test charge from infinity to the surface by q naught. This is nothing but potential on the surface. Right. So this point is to be understood carefully. To find the potential at any inside point, right? To find the potential at any inside point, potential we define it as, potential is defined as the work done in moving a charge from, potential is the total work done in moving a charge from infinity to the point in the field against the field by q naught. So the point in the field that is at a distance small r. So from infinity I have to come to small r point P. But from infinity to small r is infinity to surface and from surface to point. So this term I can write as minus of integral of infinity to capital R, that is to the surface dw, plus integral of work done from the surface to small r by q naught. So the work done in moving a unit positive test charge from infinity to the point P is infinity to surface, then from surface to small r. Surface is capital R to small r. But you know, while moving from here to here, work done is force into displacement. But force, electrical force, EQ into displacement. But from capital R to small r inside, there is no electric field. So this term becomes 0. So the potential at any inside point, V inside, is simply integral of work done to move from infinity to capital R against the field by q naught. But this is nothing but potential on the surface. So therefore potential at any inside point is same as the potential, right, on the surface. So potential at any inside point, V inside, is equal to potential on the surface, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q by R. Inside point, surface point, it is same. Sometimes he'll ask you to find out what is the potential in the center of the sphere. At the center, see, well, potential at the center of the sphere, potential at the center. Well, center is also an inside point. So, potential at the center is potential inside, but potential inside is potential surface. It is again 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q by R. Capital Q by R. So, therefore, at the center, at inside point, at the surface, the potential is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R it is. Right. So, therefore, again, if the question is asked in terms of surface charge density, sigma, then you can substitute as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q. It is sigma 4 pi capital R square by R. 4 pi R cancel. It is sigma R by epsilon naught. So, the electric potential at the center or potential inside or potential surface is directly proportional to surface charge density and directly proportional to radius of the sphere. Correct? So, this way you have to find out the potential, right, like this. So, let me write down all the formulas carefully. So, if I consider so let me put all the things in one diagram, in one picture itself, we will show all the potentials for a sphere there. So, if I consider a hollow charged sphere of radius R, center O, uniformly charged sphere of radius R, like this, charge capital Q, this charge is capital Q, surface charge density sigma, it's Q by A, so cross multiplying, charge Q is sigma 4 pi R square. Then what is the electric potential for this at different points? Well, let me consider different points. First, infinite point, outside point, surface point, inside point, and the center. You know, potential at infinity. Actually, potential itself is defined as the work done in moving from infinity to the point. So, if it is infinity itself, the work done is 0. So, potential at infinity due to any charge is 0. Due to any charge at infinity it is 0. Well, potential at the outside point, let's take the distance R. Then the potential at the outside point is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q by R. For R greater than capital R, then the potential is like this, outside point, right? Or in terms of surface charge density, you can write as sigma into R square by epsilon naught, sigma into capital R square by epsilon naught smaller. 4 pi will get cancelled if I substitute sigma there. So, sigma R square by epsilon naught into smaller. That is the potential at the outside point. Here it is. Any outside point for a hollow conducting charged sphere, right? Even if it is non-conducting also, it is the same hollow sphere. Any charged sphere, hollow. For a hollow sphere, it is like this. 1 by 4 epsilon Q by smaller or sigma R square by epsilon naught smaller. This is the formula for outside point. Well, the potential on the surface point here, on the surface, that is R equal to capital R, then it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q by R, or it is sigma capital R by epsilon naught in terms of surface charge density. Second point, this is first point, this is point 1 here, this is 2, so at the second point 2. Then how about the inside point 3? Potential at 3, V inside at the third point, V inside. You know, potential inside is same as potential on the surface. It is same as on the surface, same as this formula, right? Similarly, fourth point at the center, right? Fourth point at the center, potential at the center, fourth point is same as potential inside, and that is same as potential on the surface. So, therefore, common to all, I can write this as putting all the things here, all the things in one diagram. Potential at the center 4 or potential at the inside point 3 is equal to potential on the surface, this one, and that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by capital R. At the center or inside point or surface point, the potential is same. Suppose if I am asked to picturize this, represent a graph, if I am asked to show a graphical variation of the potential with distance. So let me take a graph like this. On y-axis I am taking potential and x-axis which is R. So this is small r equal to capital R. Now, so I have to show the variation of potential with distance, right? You know, at the center of the sphere, the potential is 1 by 4 epsilon q by r. So let me take it is here. Then this value potential, it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q by r. This one. You know, at inside point also it is the same. So it is same at all the inside points. So for all inside points, the potential remains same like this. Right? Let me represent this by, this is the maximum. So I am representing by means of this one. So at all the points inside, the potential is same at all the points. It's equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon capital Q by r. At the center, at inside point, at the surface, the potential is same. And you know, this is the maximum potential. This is the maximum value, V max for a hollow sphere. Now, outside point, you know, at any outside point, potential varies inversely with the distance. It is the inverse variation of potential with distance. You know, whenever one quantity varies inversely with other, then the graph is a rectangular hyperbola. So this graph is a rectangular hyperbola. So it represents a rectangular. And you know, this will touch at infinity. Potential at infinity is 0. It is an asymptote. It touches the radius, distance axis at infinity. It's a rectangular hyperbola. The graph is like this. So this way, the potential varies with a hollow conducting charged sphere. I am taking it for a positively charged sphere. For positive charge, well, of course, it is positive potential. You know, positive potential is a scalar. Even though it's a scalar, it can be positive, negative or 0. For a positive charge, it is plus. The graph is this side. Had this been a negative charge, the same graph downward. So you have to represent it like this. For a negative charge, then the potential V with respect to distance, this is positive, this is negative. So minus up to this R. For a negative charge, it is minus. For positive charge, it is plus, like this. Okay. So the variation of potential with distance, graphical variation of the potential with distance is represented like this. Is it? At the center, at any inside point, on the surface, potential is same. Suppose sometimes he will ask you, what is the potential difference between center and an inside point P? Center and an inside point P. Let's say the inside point, this is O. Let the inside point be A. Suppose CA. Then center and inside, the potential is same. So therefore, the potential difference is same. What is the work done in moving a charge from center of the hollow charged sphere to surface? So work done in moving from center to surface. Well, we know potential difference is work done per unit charge. Cross multiply. So work done is potential difference into charge. Now potential difference between the center and so work done in moving from center to surface. Potential difference between center and surface into Q. But center and surface same potential, difference C. There is no work done in moving a charge from center to surface. There is no potential difference between any 2 points. Take any point inside. What is the work done to move a charge from a point inside the sphere, from one point to another point inside the sphere? 0. Because at any 2 points inside, the potential is same. Potential difference is 0. There is no work done. So work done to move from center to any point inside, or potential work done to move between any 2 points inside, or work done to move from center to surface, it is all 0. Or work done to move from any inside point to surface, work done is 0. The potential difference is 0. So potential is same. Potential at the center, at any point on the inside the sphere and on the surface, all the points potential is same. So this is the graphical variation of the potential. Is it? Graphical variation, and these are the formulas for the potential at various points, outside point, surface point, inside point. Now these are the formulas for the potential there. Okay, right? Thank you. Any minute answer?